6 creepy house stories. I knew someone was standing over me. I lived in an old apartment in 2002. The place was built in 1900, so it was just over 100 years old when I moved in. The living room and kitchen were fine, but the bathroom and bedroom were unnerving, like I just always felt like I was being watched, especially in the bedroom if the closet door was open. Those unnerving feelings just became moderately uncomfortable as I settled in. I felt safe in the bedroom, but only if the door was locked. One night I was dead asleep when there was a loud bang on my bedroom door. When I got up the courage to get out of bed, I checked the apartment and all the windows were closed and locked from the inside. The door still had the chain secured, no one was in there. I mentioned the closet in the bedroom. I never liked going in there, and I never liked if the door was open. For some reason, in my head I would hear gasping noises. So for that reason, the closet stayed closed. A month or more after I was woken to the bang on my door, I was dead asleep. But something woke me up, and it was a pressure on me like being held down. It was pitch black in my room, I couldn't see anything, but I knew someone was standing over me. When I could finally turn on a bedside lamp, no one was there. After then I couldn't sleep in the dark, I had to sleep with a lamp on. That incident scared the life out of me. And after that, the unnerving feeling of being watched intensified. Friends would come over and comment about being uncomfortable in the bathroom like being watched. It became so uncomfortable for me. When I had the chance to move to another unit, I jumped at it. I packed up and got out. After me, several people rented the apartment, and they would move out within months. I became friendly with the building manager, and I told him that I felt the place was haunted. He kind of laughed it off. Years after, they were renovating the place, building manager was doing some painting in there, the building owner was there too. I went and checked out the apartment, and it looked nicer, it didn't feel as creepy. I got to talking with the building owner, and through the course of conversation he just throws it out there that a former tenant committed suicide in the closet by hanging themselves. He also mentioned that the original designer of the building lived in that apartment, and died in there. I wasn't mad when I heard that, but felt validated that what I experienced was real. White Mothman. One night I was driving home from my then-girlfriend's house. I was crossing a bridge and saw the figure of a man standing at the edge. It was around 1 or 2 in the morning, but I didn't really think too much of it. I veered over to give him plenty of room, and he turned towards me. His skin was pure white, and when his eyes locked onto mine, I felt a horrible feeling of terror sweep over my body. He jumped off the bridge, and I saw a white streak fly away from where he jumped. I drive over that same bridge every time I'm home from college, and I've never seen him or felt the same feeling since. I've told this story to a couple people, and a few have also told me they experienced weird shit in that same area. I don't normally believe in anything supernatural, but I don't have any rational explanation for what I know I saw and felt. The old man in the mirror. This isn't a super spooky story, but I sure was spooked when it happened. My mom used to clean the house of an elderly couple. They didn't have any kids, so their house was empty aside from them. The husband ended up dying of lung cancer, and about a week after the service we were at their house cleaning. I was in their bedroom and my mom was in their restroom. I had my back turned to the bed, and off to my left was a mirror that they had that was facing the bed. While cleaning, I kinda half turned and momentarily looked into the mirror and see the lattice deceased husband standing next to the bed and looking down at it. He then looked up at me through the mirror, so I quickly turned to look at their bed, and he was gone. Really freaked me out at the time, and I quickly joined my mom in the restroom. The little cottage that wasn't there. While at uni, my friends and I ran out of booze. Hardly any shops were open because it was late on, so the only option was to walk the mile or so to the nearest 24-hour supermarket. Between the supermarket and the dorms we lived in was just row after row of suburban houses which all looked the same. As we were walking down one road, we passed a field with a large campfire and some people riding horses around it. There were people playing musical instruments and general sounds of a good time going on. The horses and fire, and the lanterns which were dotted about, gave it a very old-fashioned feel. Maybe 5 minutes after passing the field, now walking past houses again, one of my friends commented on how weird and out of place that gathering of people had been. My other friend and I had been thinking exactly the same thing, so, curious, we turned around and walked back to find out exactly what was going on. There was nothing there. Not just no people or horses, there was no field, just more and more houses. Even though we were absolutely certain we were on the right road, as we'd simply turned around, we walked up and down the neighboring roads too. We found nothing. We weren't drunk, though we'd had some drinks, and so I've got absolutely no idea what happened that night. The cat tried to kill us. This one is pretty short and it's not near Halloween. In my hometown there are railroad tracks that go through the middle of town, past a cemetery on the edge of town, and into the nothingness. I'm from rural Arkansas, so you can imagine what it's like. Nothing but woods and fields for miles. Well, these tracks were always talked about by the teenagers. Something about a kid getting hit by the train a long time ago. So of course, being stupid teenagers, my friends and I decide to go to the tracks one day where the kid supposedly died. So we're doing teenager things by the tracks, like putting rocks on them, when out comes a stray cat from the woods. It was kind of weird because we were so far away from town, but whatever. We didn't think about it. It walks up to us and of course we started petting it. A few minutes pass by and we are all sitting on the tracks in a line and the cat is walking from one end to the other, taking in all the pets, when all of a sudden we start to feel the ground shake. We look up and a train was less than 100 feet from us. How we didn't hear it I don't know, but I've never been so close to death in my life. It was terrifying and we never saw the cat again. To this day I think that cat tried to get us killed. He had a noose around his neck. I have a few good stories, but this is the one that makes me most uncomfortable. For the record, I don't believe in ghosts, I'm a skeptic of most unexplained things, but given that these originate from my mom, an honest person not inclined to lie or exaggerate, I always struggle to know what to make of it. Anyhow, when my mom was 9 or 10, the family moved to a large Victorian 3-story house, with my mom having the top floor to herself. All good until after a few weeks, my mom started to complain of seeing a strange man in room. My grandma brushed this off at first, but my mom started acting up pretty bad. Grandma mentioned it to a neighbor. This old lady asked to have a word with my mom. Apparently my mom was seeing a man rise up from the floorboards of her bed, with a noose tied round his neck. Turns out a guy had previously killed himself in that room through hanging and the description fitted. Grandma hears this from old lady. They soon move down the street and my mom sees it once more, but outside her room. Never saw it again. To top it off, a few weeks after the move, a couple take residence. Within a few days they were seen moving their stuff out in the middle of the night, having seen weird stuff. Thank you for watching this video. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Share it with your friends and subscribe to the channel.